I mentioned on Wednesday, actually, today I want to do a little bit of work on the floor as well to start off with. So we're just going to go live on uh, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook, and then also click the link for Instagram. So good morning if you are just joining us on the social media out there. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. Always appreciate your support. Monday mornings, a little bit more focus on the breath, but as I was saying to the Zoom group there, always that connection with movement and breath. And today I'd like to do a little bit of work on the floor to start off with. So hopefully you've got some space, you've got a mat. If you need a little bit of a cushion just for the back of your head. I know it's always difficult when we're doing online stuff to do floor work because you're trying to watch the camera and you're trying to watch me. So I'll show you first and then we'll do the practice, and then I'll show you another one and then we'll do the practice. It ties in with our warm-ups that we always do with the spine rotation, but I just want to do a little bit on the floor. It's sort of come about, these two particular movements. They're pretty standard movements. Many of you might have done them before, but I've been working with these two fantastic coaches here in Porto, who are Feldenkrais and Pilates coaches. So it's quite nice. I was working with Feldenkrais people a few years back actually, and it's nice just to revisit some of the Feldenkrais moves. So what I would like you to do is take a space on the floor. As I say, I'll show you first. If you need that cushion for the back of your head, please feel free to put the cushion for the back of your head in, down or in. And then you're just laying on the floor. We're going to keep our feet in that standing position. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to slightly tilt. We're just going to work on the pelvis. We're going to tilt. So we're going to roll the pelvis. So we roll the spine onto the floor, lower back onto the floor. We're not over tensing the abs here. So I don't want you to do loads of pulling in. I just want you to do that tilt with the pelvis forwards and backwards. So when you're ready, just find yourself that comfortable position on the floor. No dozing off, please. All good there. So I can see Deb, the dog's joining in with Debbie there, which is good. Take a moment just to let the floor take your weight. So just lengthening out the spine and just breathing easy, natural breathing. It goes without saying, always, if there's any pain, if anything hurts, you stop. And then you can either put the hands on the hips if that helps, but we're just tilting the pelvis, tucking the tailbone underneath, and then arching the back a little bit. So you're just rolling on the sacrum there. And as I say, if there's any pain in the pelvis, hips, then you just stop. And just very gently rolling backwards and forwards. Just breathing naturally in and out through the nose. Don't worry about how you're breathing at the minute. And once you've got the rhythm going with that pelvis tilting forwards and backwards, just notice what's happening to the rest of the spine without you having to do anything, without you consciously moving the spine. How does the rest of the spine respond to the tilting forwards and backwards? If you have your head positioned so you're just resting the base of the skull, either if you've got it on the floor or on a cushion, notice how the neck responds, the cervical spine responds to the tilting of the pelvis. Keep that rhythm going, and then tuning in with the rhythm of the breath. How are you breathing with the movement? Keep that rhythm going. And then just checking in with the feet. How are your feet connected to the ground? How are you using the ground to help with that tilt of the pelvis, the rhythm of the pelvis rocking forwards and backwards? There's 2 or 3 more. And then just come into a stop. If you had your hands on your hips, just let the hands rest by your side. You can have either palms up or palms down, whatever feels comfortable on the shoulders and the arms. Letting the breath settle. If it feels comfortable, you can just lengthen your legs out, or you can keep your legs just in that knees bent standing position. If you lengthen your legs out, just let the hips relax. And just take a moment just to feel the floor, whichever position you're in. Just gently breathing. Now very slowly, I'm just going to show you another movement. So just slowly come to a place. You can be on your side, you can sit up if you want to sit up. I just want to show you the next movement that we're going to do. So I just want you to be able to see the screen, because I like to show the movements first and then you can follow that movement through. So we've done there that spine flexion and extension, and we're going to come up to standing in a minute and go back through our spinal cord breathing and things. But I wanted to highlight there, I wanted you to notice that when we're working from that center, when we're working from the pelvis, we're tilting the pelvis forwards and backwards, that upper body responds to that movement. We don't have to actually activate that upper body. Now the next one, we're going to do the spine rotation. Again, I really emphasize that if anything hurts, you stop on this one, but I'm going to show you what we're going to do, and then we'll have a little practice. So you'll go back to the lying position. Again, you can have your head, if you want your head balanced on a little cushion. We're going to take our arms out to the side. Just watch first, and then we can all do it together. I'll go through these movements again. I'll go through how we set it up. Take your arms out to the side so the palms are facing up. And you're going to cross one knee over the, so you're just crossing your legs, one knee over the other knee. And then you're going to very slowly rotate to one side. And again, notice what happens with the spine. Let the head roll to the opposite side, maybe look back a little bit. And again, just go to a comfortable place. If anything hurts, you stop. And then we very gently roll back. So it's always, as we do in the slow movement, is you're in control. It's not forcing anything. If you get pain anywhere, you just go, right, that's it, I stop there. Then we go to the other side. So you roll, let the head go. And again, just notice what's happening with the spine. So we'll do that a couple of times with one knee over the other knee, and then we'll swap and do it with the other knee over the other knee. So take your time just to come back down onto the floor, feet in standing position. Let your body lengthen out into the floor. Now popping the arms out to the side, about shoulder height, palms facing up. Again, if that's hurting the shoulder or anything, you can bring the arms down to the side, or you can put them in a different position. But if that's comfortable to you, feel how the shoulder blades connect to the ground, how the spine connects to the ground, the back of the head connects to the ground, how the feet connect to the ground. Take a moment just to let the breath settle. And then let's start with the left leg over the right leg. So you bring your right foot a little bit towards the center line. So just where it feels comfortable to stand with the foot, and then just bringing that left leg over your right knee. If you need to bring that right foot towards the pelvis a little bit more, a little bit further away, just where you feel you've got sort of like a nice pivot point, a nice anchor point. And then slowly rotate to the right. So knees rotating to the right, let the spine rotate, and then just taking the head and the visual up and to the left. And then very slowly back. Feel how the foot rolls onto the ground, connects to the ground, and then slowly to the other side. And the spine follow, head looking up and to the right, or eyes looking up and to the right. Really slow, gentle, deliberate, gentle, it might not be gentle, just deliberately slow, controlled movements. And just going to side at your own pace, in your own rhythm. Let's just go one more to each side with this leg crossed, with your left leg crossed, and then we'll swap sides. And when you're ready, just swapping sides, or swapping the knees, so the foot, now left foot on the ground, right knee across, But same thing, just rotating side to side, spine following. Tuning into rhythm. Breathing easy in and out through the nose. Just do one more to each side. Noticing the foot, how the foot connects and rolls through the spine, rolls the hips, how they connect to the ground. And then when you finish that movement, again, just resting both feet in contact with the ground. You can keep your arms out to the side if you want, or just bring them in a little bit, just using the ground just to support your body weight. If you want to lengthen your legs out, if you feel that is going to feel good, lengthening the legs out for a moment, letting those hips relax, taking some gentle breaths. And then taking your time, maybe just rolling over onto one side first. Again, no rush just to come up to standing. You can take your time seated for a little bit on the floor if you want to. And then having a gentle shake out. So I think I mentioned before, my right side tends to get tight, and with the years and years of running, that I can feel sometimes is affecting this ability for this rotation, this spiral rotation. So I've been working particularly with these two really good coaches here, but also with a lot of the reading and stuff I'm doing on the wellness innovation, on the new app and the new program that I'm developing. And also with the instructor training that we're doing in Porto. I know Graham's joining on Zoom here, is doing the instructor training with me in Porto. This is a completely different way that we've done the instructor training, not just with myself and Andrew, but worldwide with Oxygen Advantage. So this is a little bit of a plug, but it ties in with what we're going to be working on today and also on Wednesday. What we're doing within that instructor training is the Oxygen Advantage instructor training. We're doing a 3-day workshop where we're focusing on Qigong, breathing easy, and I'm really going to focus on this spiral movement because it's interesting, because loads and loads of people will say to me, oh, I can nasal breathe when I'm seated and stuff like that, and when I'm walking, but the minute I start to run or I start to walk a little bit quicker, then I'm struggling, I'm trying to breathe and I'm having to breathe in and out through the mouth. Now, one of the reasons that can be is the efficiency of our movement. So the idea that we get this nice fluidity and this flow and this spiral with our movement means that it's going to be easier to breathe. So again, within the instructor training, we're going to do a special, or a module on what I'm calling at the minute, it might change it, called spiral walking, because there's so many different walking techniques. There's so many different connections with fascia and qigong movements and spiral movements. There's so many different ways of breathing, but nobody's putting that together. And that's what I'm aiming to do. So we're going to do a module at that instructor training, but it's also going to be a program that I'm developing as well. And that ties in with all of the other sort of like the Run With Ease programs. Anyway, enough of that. Come back to your feet balanced in contact with the ground. I just wanted to put a little bit of context on some of this stuff we're practicing now. So what I want you to think about when we're now doing knocking is how you felt that strength through the lower body when we were rotating the spine, and the spine just followed that movement. The spine followed the movement of the knee and the hip. So this is what I want you to get the sense of as we're just doing the standing and the knocking, is I'm not using my arms, I'm not using my spine to twist. I'm using the floor. I'm using that spiral, that rotation through the ankle, the rotation through the knee. So tune in, just have a notice what's going on in the ankles, softness in the ankles, but there's movement in that ankle. There's movement in the knees, softness in the knees. And then there's movement in the hips. And then the upper body is just joining in for the ride. Just nice and light and lifted. That spine just rotates. And then you're just bending the elbows and letting them tap the belly and back, knocking on the door of life. And now breathing, gentle in and out through the nose. Check in again with the ankles, knees, hips. Let's slow this down now into water waves. So again, still rotating through ankles, knees, hips. Spine stays lengthened and long, light lifted. Now soften into the elbows, the wrists, the fingers, shoulders. And then just come to standing. Let's open up the shoulders, palms facing forwards. Nice strong spine. And then soft or relaxing into the front of the body, relaxing the face, soften into the chest, soften into the belly. Strong and supported through the lower body. Now going back to that first movement we did on the floor where we're doing that tilt of the pelvis forwards and backwards, ties in with the spinal cord breathing. So let's just start with that tilting. You can pop your hands on the pelvis if you want to, you can just do it with your arms by the side, whatever feels good. Tilting that pelvis forwards and backwards. Forwards, spilling out the front, tucking the tailbone underneath, spilling out the back. Here you have to have that little bit more bend in the knees. And we stay bent in the knees. We're not coming up and down. So we just get in that movement through the pelvis. And again, just notice how the spine responds to that movement. What does the head want to do? Or are we just holding that upper body really tight? So just let that spine soften. Feel how that ripple moves up the spine, how you can soften into the shoulders, soften into the neck. And then we can coordinate and bring a little bit more movement with that upper body just by opening up the chest as we tilt the pelvis forwards and then tucking the tailbone underneath as we curl up into a little ball. But really connect the movement of the pelvis to the rest of the spine. So it's ripples up from the center. Called spinal cord breathing. So think about how that spine is flexing and extending as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Nothing forced, nothing pushed, no strain. Finding, again, your comfortable rhythm, not necessarily following me or anyone else on the screen, just finding your rhythm. Do a couple more. And then come up to standing. Let's have a little bit of a shake. So just tapping the heels into the ground, getting that vibration going through the body. So you can either do washing machine where you're tapping alternate heels into the ground, or you're bouncing and tapping both heels into the ground. Again, if there's any pain, you stop. Or we can start to shake the wrists. Get that movement, relaxing the shoulders, let the shoulders go, let the head go a little bit. Hopefully my microphone hasn't dipped away anywhere. Let's do a couple of cleansing and clearing breaths, breathing in and letting go. Making that really calm, really enjoyable breath in and let go. One more breath in. Lovely morning, hopefully let go. And slow it down, slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. Stand palms facing forwards. Feel the tingling sensations. Really feel that in my feet. You might notice it in different places. Every time you do this, I can really feel it in my feet. Let the breath settle. A window wide open right in front of me, and just as I'm standing here, there's a very gentle, cool breeze coming in. It's beautiful. I know if you're in Scotland today, you might be getting a little bit more than a cool breeze, so I hope you stay safe up there. Let's do a breath in, breath out. And we will finish there. Sorry, gone over just a little bit there. So again, just have a little play around with that. Think of every time you take a step, and I think we'll work a little bit more on this on Wednesday as well in our movement. Remember that every time we take a step, that spiral, that rotational, that contralateral movement, and that we want to keep that lower body nice and strong, upper body nice and light and lifted. We still want that strong spine, but we can soften into the front of the body there. Excellent. Hope that has set you up for this Monday morning. As I say, if you're in the UK, and I know apparently there's a storm coming over, please do stay safe if there is a storm coming over anywhere near you. And I will see you on Wednesday for more movement and breath. Thanks for joining as always. Take care. Have a good day. See you later. Bye-bye.